behavior. So the headline in the New York Times today that everybody is just so excited about, and here's my point, is decade in the red. Trump tax figures show over $1 billion in business losses. Because the real story, as it is on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, is the Inspector General of the Justice Department, Michael Horowitz, has been investigating how this investigation, the FBI investigation into Donald Trump and this Russian collusion hoax got started. He's investigating that, and rather than cover this, they release, somebody has given Trump's tax returns to the New York Times to cover this story up. So here it is. They're so excited. Front page news. By the time his Master of the Universe memoir, Trump, The Art of the Deal, hit bookstores in 1987, Donald Trump was already in deep financial distress, losing tens of millions of dollars on troubled business deals, according to previously unrevealed figures from his federal income tax returns. So important that we have these income tax returns for some reason. It probably also has to do with the Holy Grail. Mr. Trump was propelled to the presidency in part by a self-spun narrative of business success and of setbacks triumphantly overcome. He has attributed his first run of reversals and bankruptcies to the recession that took hold in 1990, but 10 years of tax information obtained by the New York Times paints a different and far bleaker picture of his deal-making abilities and financial condition. Here's how the Democrats, the other Democrats, by whom I mean the news media, here's how they covered this story. This is the montage, 11.
This is a guy who wrote a memoir about Art of the Deal in 1987 and lost tens of millions of dollars that year.
Does this to you explain why he doesn't want anyone to have this information? That he was such a loser? The reason I say that word, I'm not trying to be funny. He uses that word all the time. He calls people losers, and he has such disdain and drips with horror when he uses that word. And yet he was literally the biggest loser in the country.
The man who ran for president on his reputation as a billionaire business genius was a really, really, really lousy businessman.
So this is such an exciting story because we've never heard it before, unless you happen to watch The Apprentice. Phil Kerpen on Twitter made this find. It was really a good find, so I want to give him credit for it. But this is the opening of the show, The Apprentice.
My name's Donald Trump, and I'm the largest real estate developer in New York. I own buildings all over the place, model agencies, the Miss Universe pageant, jetliners, golf courses, casinos, and private resorts like Mar-a-Lago, one of the most spectacular estates anywhere in the world. But it wasn't always so easy. About 13 years ago, I was seriously in trouble. I was billions of dollars in debt. But I fought back, and I won, big league. I used my brain, I used my negotiating skills, and I worked it all out. Now my company's bigger than it ever was, it's stronger than it ever was, and I'm having more fun than I ever had. I've mastered the art of the deal and have turned the name Trump into the highest quality brand. And as the master, I want to pass along my knowledge to somebody else. I'm looking for The Apprentice.
It's the ad. It is the lead into the show. He's bragging about what the New York Times. I mean, I think the people in the New York Times have to get out more. It really reminds me of that scene in the what was the movie? I think it was called Species, where somebody said we were experimenting on women because they were less aggressive, and the guy says, "I think you need to get out more." That's the way I feel about the New York Times. It's like they don't have no idea. They know that their readers are getting all their information from outlets like the New York Times. Just to drive this point home, here's Ivanka in an old documentary. I'm not sure what date this came out. The documentary is called Ivanka Trump, Born Rich, describing a moment. She says she's 8 or 9, so that would make it about 90 or 91. So this is exactly the time the Times is talking about, describing a moment when she sees a homeless guy. She's walking with her dad, and she just sees a homeless guy outside of Trump Tower.
I remember once my father and I were walking down Fifth Avenue, and there was a homeless person sitting right outside of Trump Tower. And I think I was probably maybe 9, 10, something like this. It was around the same time as the divorce. And I remember my father pointing to him and saying, you know, that guy has $8 billion more than me, because he was in such extreme debt at that point, you know? And me thinking, what are you talking about? He was sitting outside of Trump Tower, and I'm looking and I'm going, You know, and I didn't understand, and I think I just thought about it maybe like a year or two ago, and I found it interesting. You know, it makes me all the more proud of my parents that they got through that.
She's all the more proud of course, more proud of her parents for getting through it. This is what businessmen do. I've known a lot of entrepreneurs, and man, they fly close to the wind. There's no question about it. I've always kind of admired them for it. This is part of the Trump legend, which the New York Times is now broadcasting to keep from writing about the fact that their messiah, their hero, their great, somewhat brown-skinned hope was not a very good president.